The headline reads today, fear today, famine tomorrow. This is actually a newspaper that I picked up yesterday in Atlanta. Rising worry as conflict keeps impacting the wider world. I don't want to highlight anything that doesn't need to be highlighted here, but you can see it here in the article on the front page. Fear today, famine tomorrow. President Biden is putting in place a plan to try to curtail the looming possibility of potential food shortages facing United States of American citizens. But I wonder if this proposal of his is really geared at us, or if it's another one of his dynamic plans to help the little guy, i.e. other countries, and not the US people. You can see here, White House seeks $500 million for farmers to grow more wheat, pay for market loans, and obviously we have a wheat shortage. We have other shortages that are affecting us daily as a result of reduced imports from other countries, supply chain constraints, labor shortages for sure. It's kind of hard to produce the food if you don't have the people to do the work to get it done. In addition to climate change and droughts and just crop loss in general. Add on top of that bird flu and these diseases that are taking out chickens. It's a never-ending battle. It's a never-ending battle. It says here that the Biden administration is asking Congress to approve $500 million for the farm sector in a bid to woo U.S. wheat producers to double crop their fields and boost how much the federal government will spend on short-term loans to farmers who grow certain food crops. The request is part of President Joe Biden's broader $33 billion request on Thursday to lawmakers to support other countries in a dynamic or a dramatic escalation of U.S. funding for the war. The effort comes as global grain prices have surged following the overseas invasion, which disrupted shipments of corn and wheat from those key suppliers. Meanwhile, food inflation is surging worldwide. Tell me if you don't see it, comment below, but everything is just more expensive. You know, food is the primary that we're going to see every day. The gas prices, you'll see the gas prices as you drive by, but you'll feel the gas prices as you fill up. But the food prices, you have to eat every day. And whether you're going to a grocery store or if you're going out to eat, and I'm not talking about fancy restaurants, I'm talking about just picking up a number one with egg and cheese and a coffee from Chick-fil-A for breakfast. I mean, it's like $8 to eat breakfast. And I think it used to be like almost $4 to get that meal, and it's double now. So this is something that you're gonna see every day. You're gonna feel it every day. And this is a consumable that we must have to survive. The request aims to increase the production of U.S. food crops, particularly wheat, which are experiencing a global shortage due to the war, according to a U.S. Department of Agriculture official. The USDA estimates it will help U.S. farmers replace up to 50% of the wheat typically exported by the other countries involved in this conflict. This low and potentially, hopefully, lower food costs for American consumers. Potentially. Let me know if you think, honestly, tell me, honestly, this is between you and me. If we were to see a cost reduction in these products, would it actually translate to you and I? Will we see that savings? The request includes about $100 million to pay for a $10 per acre incentive to farmers paid through crop insurance premiums for a soybean crop planted after a winter wheat crop in 2023. In addition, $400 million would be routed through USDA's marketing assistance loans, which provide interim financing to growers and buy them more time to sell their crops at a higher profit. It's all about money. But at the same time, if anybody's going to make a profit right now, the farmers need to be incentivized because we need to bring this home. We need to be able to control our food source. The Biden administration is seeking a 2-year increase in the USDA loan rates for food commodities, including wheat, rice, and edible oils such as soybean and sunflower oil seeds. Under that proposal, wheat loan rates would go up 63%, oilseed up 40%, and rice and pulse crops up 21%. We will see how this plays out. And one, if this can get approved, and two, if the farmers are on board. I don't know, again, the labor component, and this is not just the incentive from the government to increase or double crop your fields, it's the ability to, do you have the means to do it physically? Do you have the equipment? You see there's a large piece of equipment here shown on the screen, and I know that farmers, along with many other people in the world, are faced with these crippling right to repair blocks, which prevent them from maintaining their own purchased equipment because the manufacturers are blocking the owners from being able to repair them cost effectively on their own versus going directly to the manufacturer and paying their higher inflated prices for repairs, software upgrades, et cetera, even to the point of which they're blocking people the ability to produce 3D printed parts to repair their own equipment. So the money and the loans from the government is one thing, but can the farmers do it? And do they want to? Do they want to? Because, a loan, you got to understand, a loan is the same as saying you owe me. So I don't know if these farmers are willing to jump into this pool to owe the government money with no guarantee on their return. I don't want to take money from the government to increase my overhead with the hope of getting a return on that investment to then pay them back with interest. What if the crop doesn't come in? What if you have a drought? What if you have some other form of problem that prevents you from actually producing, and now you're on the hook to the last person I want to owe money is the government for an unbelievable amount of money. I don't know if you can recover from that. On one of my previous videos, we discussed real estate, and I want to talk to you guys about this because it is more than just real estate and home values and prices and rates. It's about the future, and it's about preparing. Everyone must prepare. If you were here for food shortages, don't leave, because this message still applies to you. Because what good is the food if you don't have a home to eat it in, if you don't have a home to store it in, a home to stockpile it in? And I mentioned in the previous video that these inflated home prices, these increased values and added equity that are now being seen in the appraisals. So they're kind of gaining some validity in these prices, mixed with the increase in interest rates and higher mortgages. It's I think it's 50% higher now. The average mortgage is 50% higher now than it was just 2 or 3 years ago, with these higher prices and now these higher rates. And what that means is that there could come this could be a real possibility that in the very near future, you won't be able to buy a home, whether it is because you can't afford it, or in this particular situation, because it was already purchased by an investor, or maybe just the home builder itself never sold it and it's only going to be available for rent. And with that being said, if they have it for rent, they control the price. You are subject to whatever they want to charge you whenever they want to charge you. So another giant home builder to enter the wildly popular build to rent space is seen here. And let's see if I can get this to pull up. It says another home builder is getting into the build to rent space, where a hybrid model of detached single family rental units are built within highly amenitized communities. So it's basically like an apartment complex, but it's a house instead of just a unit or a suite. And these build to rent communities are becoming more and more popular as other home builders have seen success, such as Scottsdale based Taylor Morrison Home Corp in partnership with Mesa based Christopher Todd Communities. I've also seen it personally with D.R. Horton, and I think there was one other, I can't remember, might have been Toll Brothers, that are doing it as well. And the future of build to rent is highly likely. And all that means is, like I said, it's just going to become more and more expensive to have access to real estate, whether it's owning based on the price, based on the mortgage rates, or if it's rental based on how much they're going to charge you every month. And, you know, what do you do? What do you do? You know, you can't just sit there and throw your hands up. We need solutions. We need possible solutions. So one of the things I want to share with you is something that I've come across that could be a realistic possibility that we've already seen before. And usually for those nearing retirement and or already had the ability to work remotely, becoming citizens and or homeowners in other countries was becoming much more attractive for the cost factor, the quality of living factor, and even like the climate and, you know, the scenery. It was usually a much nicer tropical place that you could live for considerably less money. Well, now many more people have the ability to work remotely as a result of the pandemic, and a way to possibly try to cut costs and afford a place to live is moving abroad. And by doing that, maybe that will free up some of your disposable incomes to make it easier to afford the food and groceries that we're going to see huge inflation on continuously. So check this out.
With the cost of living skyrocketing locally, many are trying to figure out how to make it in San Diego. ABC 10 News reporter Leah Pizzetti shows us how the solution for some is just south of the border.
Tony Smith is an athlete and coach, so living in San Diego, money is tight.
I had to find a means of survival, and so I was like, okay, I don't mind roommates. Like, I've had them all my life.
Most recently, she lived with 5 other people in one house in the East Lake area, but knew it was time for change.
But I was over roommates, so I've never lived by myself ever.
So she moved over the border, paying the same monthly rent for her own 2-bed, 1-bath in Tijuana. While she waits on her Century Pass, the commute is rough, but she says overall, it's been great.
So I don't know what a Century Pass is, but I would assume that it's something that allows a much easier cross over the border for a daily commute from US to Mexico. You can see here, it says, you know, she's getting her own space, her own place for what she was paying in rent in Southern California.
Like an adult. It only took me 37 years, but here we are.
But I love it. I look forward to actually going home.
And she's not alone.
The more expensive it gets in the States, the more attractive we are as an alternative.
Baja Real Estate Group broker Max Katz says they usually see investors and retirees buying homes in Mexico.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. And it's not just limited to investors and those retiring. This is becoming more of a widespread, popular move. And, you know, I don't know how many people are actually talking about it and actually thinking about it or actually doing it. But if you are in the position where you may want to start taking a look at this, not only for yourself, but maybe for a potential investment yourself if you had 1 or 2 properties down there at a good price before. Because, you know, once everybody starts making this move, these prices aren't going to stay the same. They're going to start going up because we're just going to start creating more competition and the demand is going to outweigh the supply. So if you can now get into this, this may be a good idea for you down the road, not only for yourself to live in, but also to have rentals and short-term or long-term.
That's recently changing.
The last 2 years, I've had a lot of younger people come that might not be, you know, normal part of our market, which are now looking to buy and live because they can work remotely and there's a lot more flexibility in their life.
He says the prices are appealing.
Well, you can get a waterfront home or condo in our area for anywhere from, let's say, you know, from 200 to you know, 600 or 700, let's say, would be a normal price range for our market. And that same property in San Diego would be untouchable. It would be in the millions for sure.
And he says as long as San Diego housing prices stay high, he expects this trend to continue. Leah.
Yeah, I don't see that. Well, as long as San Diego housing prices stay high, like when is that going to change? But comment below, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've actually done it or even have entertained it and done a little bit of research to see what it would take to pull it off. Because I think that this could be a new growing trend to offset and combat what we're seeing through inflation and a possible recession, and not, just being able to maintain a roof over your head for a reasonable price, with home ownership being a pipe dream in America and rent taking over and the prices of rent just going through the roof. Let me know. Thanks for watching. I'll bring you guys another update soon. Please subscribe, like the video, share, and comment below. I really do appreciate it. And if you have anything you want to share with me, I'll have my email in the description. You can send me emails, and it could be something that we can discuss to, one-on-one, or I can include it in a future video so that everybody in the community can take advantage of anything that could help them prepare for what is to come. Take care, be safe, see you soon, bye.